Hey, it's Nick with the Level Up. One of the things I'm good at around here is making sure that we have our equipment set up properly. It gives Bird less to worry about and lets me help her. And so a lot of times she does stuff like puts her mic on, and she'll even put the pack like all the way on her back and stuff. And I have no idea how she could reach it, but she really does help. So today she set up the studio. She did some recording earlier, but she used the built-in camera microphone, and we have this extra piece of equipment. It's the Deity, I think it's the D3 Pro. It was a relatively cheap mic. There's one level that's higher than it that has like two batteries in it, and I've heard it sounds like it has more bass in it. So that could help my voice a little bit. We have a couple different lenses. The lens that we take pictures with and the lens that we record video with are different. With this camera, there's what you would call the kit lens, which is like the 15 to, or it's like an 18 to 35 or something like that. It has the zoom on it. I like that lens. It's small, it's lightweight, it zooms in good stuff. But for low light video, and even though we have these extra lights in here, the lens that we got here is brighter and clearer and everything. So of all the things that we spent money on in order to be able to make all this work, the lens and the camera were the biggest ads. The camera is the best we could get on the least, and the lens as well. The lens is one of these lenses that you'd use if you were doing like YouTube vlogging or something like that. It is the Sigma 16, and what's unique about it is that it has it's an f1.4 lens. Basically that means that in a low light condition, it makes it look bright. Normally you'd have to bump up the ISO to really high levels to be able to record, some in the dark. But this thing makes the dark look like it's daylight out. These lights were given to us from our friend Jim, who had like a little studio in his house. That he's a professional voiceover person and is able to travel the world now working from his laptop. So that's really cool. So the light rack that we have here is made out of the ballet bars that we had at the studio, and it's fairly sturdy. I mean, having those two lights up there, it does have, like look at how we have the feet turned so that they don't show up in the camera, in the shot that we do. We have to turn them like that or else the feet show up in the shot. Just because of the limited space that we have here, it's kind of like a miracle, what we're able to do in here. There is wireless DMX available, so we use the light controller to be able to dim and set the color of these lights. All this stuff we had at the studio, and we were able to make really good use of it here. These are just two lights, and they're Chauvet lights that just do white, and they have 3 different color varieties of light. There's like a soft white, a bluish white, it's like pure white, and the amber. And you mix the 3, and then you can dim them. But you'll see this thing that's falling off right now. It's just taped on with blue painter's tape. But these sheets of acetate are actually light filters, and we did some recordings. We could probably play them now, where we sort of made the room dark, and we put these overlays over the lamps to see like what a difference would they make, because by default these lights sort of have a very hard edge to them, and we went through trial and error, and we found that these sheets here that have sort of like lines in them, and they're a thicker type of acetate, actually fan the light out and really make it soft and nice. to look at. So that's something that we did here. Again, these cables really bother me, but I think about the wireless DMX, and right now our room's so small that like we just pitch this and we leave it. I mean, we use this room a lot and it's not even in the way because we're all so short that we can walk right underneath this without any problem. Yeah, so that's what's great about being us. So the other thing is, all right, so we come down the legs there. We have DMX cables that run from the corner over to our DMX mixer. And this thing is really cool. We purchased this on Amazon. It allows us to change the lights the way that they're configured. So right now we have a preset for number 8, and it has both those two lights on plus the color scheme that you see there. Now, as I change from 8 to some others, different lights can go off, different colors can come up. So these can be set to different presets. We also have like faders here, so the faders can control the brightness and what color lights are being shown. So that's a capability that we have there. Our basic recording setup. Okay, so our DMX cable runs out, runs up the leg, and to the back of these lights, and they daisy chain around the room. So that's how we're able to control the lights, is using DMX cables, which are basically just the 3-pin microphone cables. DMX cables do tend to cost a little bit less, and I think because they don't necessarily need to be shielded, but you can use shielded mic cables for DMX cables if you have them.